My name is Dr. David P. Perrodin, and welcome to Week 3 of Educational Leadership 655 Pupil Services and Non-Discrimination with Viterbo University. A week to recap. All is going well in class. A few things. When I describe data, I've found it helpful to use phrases like, here's an area for additional inquiry to help us to better understand these figures. Keep it neutral, as bad or good can be defeating language, especially when the numbers you're looking at might represent a positive change from baseline over time. Week 2 review. Discussion question number 1 about Dana and Susie. That was a question about process. Who knows about this incident? And it's important for you. You have the voice message to get a hold of the building principal. It's likely that this message has been left across multiple people's phones. If there is an alleged claim of bullying, you must ensure a bullying investigation per Act 309 and also your Board of Education policy. And that is a very fine point in this question. Also, you can't require that a parent or student completes a written report. If you have information of a possible incident, you must investigate. So if a parent isn't going to complete the written report or the online portal, or the student won't do that, then somebody with the school needs to work with them to do that, or somebody from the school does that on their behalf. Think of a barrier for a parent who is an English language learner and having an expectation that they would complete a form that is only in English. We already know that a lot of our forms are at the college level. Inventory your district activities for LGBTQ education for students, parents, educators, Board of Education, and the community. That question will likely spark a question from the superintendent or Board of Education. Tell me about what we have done for awareness and education activities in this area. Discussion question 2. Therapy animals available for all students and all staff. Now, I say therapy animals, and I'm really thinking pets. The research is coalescing around this, something that has happened in hospitals for the last 25 plus years is now starting to become more prevalent in schools. And I see this as a tremendous positive development for schools. But how is it paid for? Who ensures that it's equitable? How does it interface with Board of Education policy? And how do you measure the impact? Probably have to cite larger studies, but you can interview students and staff. Yes, you could do a survey, but I think surveys have flaws. It's much better to gather quotes from people. So we have 3 categories of animal. 1, ADA service animal. Number 2, comfort animal. You're seeing that more in policy. ADA will always be in policy. ADA animal, a comfort animal. Again, that's specific to one student. And the third category is pet. Not necessarily therapy dog or therapy animal. It's pet. It could be a therapy animal. It could be providing that. It could have some level of training, but it's for everybody, all of the students, all of the staff. So again, ADA service animal, comfort animal, and pet. What does it look like in Board of Education policy for each of those? And if it doesn't exist, look for a district that has that, or contact your state organizations or your school attorney and ask for guidance on putting that into policy. Allergy bullying is a thing. A student who has a peanut butter sandwich chasing a student with a peanut butter allergy. Don't overlook the opportunity for the Pupil Services Director to meet with the head librarian to ensure that allergy awareness and education books are featured in the school library. Those could be books such as The Peanut-Free Cafe, Cody, The Allergic Cow, Humphrey, The Bee Has a Food Allergy. Week 3 shoutouts. Lauren posted an amazing photo of a pet turtle and a pet dog in a school, and noted that in back of the school there was a barn that had goats, a small horse, ducks, chickens, apparently lizards, snakes, bunnies, guinea pigs, and these were different pets that were brought into classrooms for the benefit, obviously, of students. So amazing photo, amazing context. Thank you for sharing that. And that would be something in the wheelhouse of the Pupil Services Director. To do this, and the thought right is that you do have research mitigating stress in students, stress in staff to have these pets available, other academic gains, things like that. I posted a number of research studies in this area when I was responding to thread. Lauren also with week 2 discussion question 1 with the upset parent and the claim of alleged bullying. So as a pupil services director, Lauren wrote, I would first write down all the grievances that this parent is calling about so that I knew exactly what she wants to cover in our upcoming conversation. Write down verbatim or save the message or transcribe the message. Shout out to Jenny. Week 2 discussion question 1 also. Jenny said, before returning the phone call or responding, I would call the school principal to ask for additional information, including any background information on the relationship between the two students, how the situation was handled, and what support's been put in place to address the needs of both students. Awesome. Both students. You want to make sure that the school principal is apprised of this message that you have received. We need to make sure that the principal informs you of what has happened. If the principal says, I've addressed this, okay, but the information you have in this voice message strongly indicates that this should be a bullying investigation. The parent has used those words. It's evident that this should be a bullying investigation. So per your board policy, where are things at with that? And where will things go? Who's going to be in charge of that? The timeline for communicating back to the parent doesn't need to be in written. You need to ask not only what's happened or was it handled, but where are we at in the process of investigating for bullying, which will follow a very strict process delineated in Board of Education policy. Again, we go back to Act 309 in 2010 in Wisconsin. So this has been around. This won't be new at all for your district. Casey, shout out. Week 2 discussion question 2, pets in schools. Casey crafted a letter to the Board of Education in support of pets in schools. So thank you for doing that. That was awesome to read through. And she had a statement. This is a very strategic, research-backed, intentional therapeutic use of animals in our schools. I agree. So when you state that, when you say this is research-backed, what's the question that someone is going to ask? What research? Show me the research. And have that answer already waiting. Actually embed that answer in your letter to the board. Bring forward 3 statistics as bullet points. In a 2014 study of dogs in a 3rd grade classroom, reading comprehension scores with dogs in the group scored higher than other groups. That is an actual statistic from an actual study. And it's always stronger to cite a research journal or a government study versus saying this article in EdWeek. Week 3 preview. Networking and sharing resources. MOUs. Memorandums of Understanding. Riley mentioned that in week 1. Make sure that you have those, that people understand what the MOU is, who initiates the MOU on the school side. That's for a smooth, professional relationship with outside providers. The story of the Sauk County directors, well, we have that. You'll learn about how Sauk County, Wisconsin, a number of directors worked together to build a collaborative network, and also how they were member checks, helping each other with honest feedback. Your SWOT assignment, that should just be bullet points. I have an example, so please kind of follow the example that I have. SWOT analysis is terrific to do after your first quarter into the job. Here's what I've identified as strengths of people services, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And our goal is to take 2 of these opportunities and boom, convert them over to strengths. I just helped a consortium of schools in northern Wisconsin work on their community health needs assessment. This is something that is coordinated by the medical field. Every school has an area where there is a community health needs assessment, usually run at the county level. If you type it in, community health needs assessment plus your county, you will find that. A lot of times school staff are involved in putting that together. It's basically how that the community resources, the county, the hospital could help all of the people, including students. One thing you might not find that there were school people participating when this was put together, so you want your seat at the table. Our week 3 discussion question 1, services that you receive from CISA. Be aware of the services. Sometimes people will look and say, I didn't know that we contracted with CISA for this. Also, if you need a different or more service from CISA, contact your CISA. CISA has basically a menu that they provide to you, but that menu is flexible based upon your needs. If you want to order off of the menu, right, and say we have induction of special education paras, and this is an area that we want to explore with CISA to see how CISA can come in and to help work with our paras, for example, or with our mental health services. Week 3 discussion question 2, that countywide consortium. What would you share? Would it be staff? Would it be professional development? Would it be equipment? From a pupil services non-discrimination perspective, how might a consortium benefit harassment discrimination? Again, could this be professional development? Could it be forms and processes that are made similar across 3 or 4 districts that are close together, so you're not spending all that time creating wheels, right? We don't have a lot of standardization in Wisconsin, and we have 421 school districts. We think about Bruce and we think about the allergy case study. Maybe now there's a group of 3 or 4 districts that have a similar process for how they have their libraries stocked with books with allergy awareness, allergy protocols for their cafeterias, because they've been working together. Bonus, here is a fast staff professional development activity. I love this. It just takes a short time to do. Have people situated in groups, perhaps at tables, and ask them to locate 5 things on the school website that you could reasonably expect staff or students to be able to locate with relative ease. So this is basically a scavenger hunt to see how easy your website is to navigate. Now, of course, school staff should be able to navigate it pretty well. They're used to it. So here are 5 things. And the first group that finds this, you can give some kind of reward, maybe a Chrysler Cordoba. I don't know. Some schools give away cars for good attendance, but I'm guessing it's probably not going to be at that level for this activity. But again, so you have staff at tables, maybe 5, 6 staff at a table. Find the bullying reporting form or directions on the website. Boom, they find it. They send the link. Here it is. Find the release of information. And hopefully you have a template up there so people know how to use that release of information. And if there's a parent trying to find the school's release of information from just going on the website, right? Allergy policy, service, companion animals, or pets policy. You probably would have all 3 of those. Maybe they're all under one policy and then split up, but service, companion animals, or pet policy. Just find one of those. And finally, homeless students contact person, your McKinney-Vento coordinator. That should be very much upfront for anybody searching your website. Thank you for posting to class, and welcome to week 3. Oh, by the way, the groundhog did see its shadow, so we have 6 more weeks of class.